Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to LightsThunderAction. We will be right on after this song.
If I had an opportunity to let these little young Sahibs know something, to take care of y'all bodies, you know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken. You feel me? Don't take care of y'all mentals, because we ain't lasting that long.
Okay, see, I'm a tad bit eclectic. Thoughts tangential and torredic. Sprinkle ADHD in my dreams become prophetic. Deaths and overdoses, suicide and wedding dresses. A curse that devolves and messes, or a gift that truly blesses. Visions of a future of successes. Yet me and these ladies are impressed with. Girls be thinking I'm obsessive or I'm thirsty. How do I tell them I feel unworthy? They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie. I can write, direct, and act. Can even rhyme and rap. Humble and don't see it as a big deal. Why is that? Well, I was used, abused, beaten, battered, made this set and played by myself. Yeah, it's whack. See, I grew up lonely and sad. Got angry like my dad. Spit venom like my mom and grew to hate myself along the way. And never learned the social skills to play in the world when shit was just a fad. I finally gotten full mad. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie. Imposter syndrome makes me mope. Tell them. My emotions are a kaleidoscope. When a words does that make me feel worthy? Yet nope, therapy has taught me how to cope. Damn. I've learned it can't be done by smoking dope. Or getting blackout drunk like a trope. Or me and women too on robe and probe. Or getting busy cause it makes my heart want to explode. Damn. I learned you just gotta meditate when you're feeling angry and you're straight hating. Damn. Your life and your friends think you're flaking. Damn. If only they can know what I'm debating. Damn. If only women knew what I was waiting. Tell them. Easy for the other guys, for me frustrating. My brain's in another dimension, translates in the pain in my heart as I write this saying. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but you never see it till you die. So why the hell do I try? I feel like everything I do is wrong, and that is why I spend my time trying to ride while my life feels like a lie.
If you got problems in your life, or you just feel like you need to talk to somebody, please do. It's important to take care of our mental health, because otherwise, we're crazy like the rest of the world. I hope you find peace and love.
Hello, I'm Thor, son of Dale, here to tell you about the Life of Thor Productions official shop. The only place where you can get your official merchandise for the LightsThunderAction podcast and Life of Thor's Thor Watches series. Whether you want t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, mugs, and masks, Life of Thor Productions official shop has you covered. If you happen to recognize there's an item that you would like to buy that is not in the official shop, head over to the LightsThunderAction podcast or Life of Thor and request that item, because if you want it, we'll sell it. Just head to lotproductions.threadless.com/collections to get the item that calls out to you via the Force. Again, that is lotproductions.threadless.com/collections. Thank you, and have a Thortastic day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is March 16th, 2021. Welcome to episode 49 of Lights, Thunder, Action, where every week we discuss all things Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and the latest happenings in the entertainment industry. I'm Thomas Carter Rochester, aka the son of Dale.
My name's David Thompson. Wow, one more till the big 5-0, Thomas. 50 episodes next week. Can't wait. But 49 today, it's going to be a special one, guys. First off, is the Snyder Cut good? The reviews are coming out on that, and they're all pretty much positive. So we're going to be discussing that in the news section of today. And then the second half of today's episode, we will, of course, be previewing the Falcon Soldier, the next Disney Plus MCU series we get to discuss every week here in Lights Thunder Action. And we can't wait to preview episode 1 of that in the latter half of this episode. But before any of that, we've got a special guest today, longtime journalist and the founder of Geekosity, Mikey Sutton. Bring him in. Welcome in, Mikey Sutton. Thank you so much for being here, Mikey. Yes.
Oh, thank you guys for inviting me to the show. It's an honor and a thrill to be here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts on this news and get your expertise on everything. How you doing today, Mikey?
Spring is finally here. I mean, the sun's out here in Washington, and hopefully, this pandemic will soon be over with. And I'm getting vaccinated in 2 days, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing Black Widow, hopefully, right?
Yeah, no. Today we don't have any theater news, but in the last couple of weeks, it's been kind of ramping up a bit. New York opened back up. LA's been slowly rolling out the opening. And I personally, where I live, there's only Regal theaters, and they haven't reopened yet. So I can't wait to get back in the theater personally. I don't know if you did, but I did venture out for Tenet and even the New Mutants when the theaters were briefly open. I went and saw those in theaters, but that was fun. But especially, I want to see Kong and Godzilla in theaters, which is a couple weeks away. Unbelievably,
honestly, it's a crime that's on HBO Max. It should be an IMAX movie.
Yeah,
they should just wait it out. Too good of a film to be on, I guess, on HBO Max.
I agree, and especially I've been saying this on this show, like just a monster movie, these gargantuan beasts fighting it out. That's not something I want to watch on my television.
No, seriously. I mean, it's like you have this epic, monster mash, and you're gonna put it on TV. I'm like, it's so wrong.
I agree, and like you said, it's silly that obviously we know Warner Bros. And Warner Media, they're playing now with HBO Max and this day and date stuff. But the thing is, they have a lot of other films, and the order and it being the Godzilla Kong film first is just like, oh, come on, not a lot of people are going to go out to the theaters for that first one. It's going to take some time. We will.
I can't wait.
I hope it won't be a pain. I hope there's Regal open here.
Man, the last movie I saw in the theater was Birds of Prey.
Really?
Wow.
Over a year ago then, right?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, man.
Wow.
Not the kind of film that makes you want to return to the theater either. But,
you didn't like Birds of Prey?
Here's the thing. The comic book is my all-time favorite series of all time. So what I saw wasn't Birds of Prey. And so I had an issue with that. I love Margot Robbie, though. I think she's wonderful.
Yeah.
The Huntress is my all-time favorite female superhero. And she was handled okay. The film just had issues for me. It just couldn't make up its mind what it was. That's the main issue I had with it. And also, it just didn't remind me of Birds of Prey. From the comic books, like Chuck Dixon and Gail Simone that I had, read and loved so much. But it's one of those fanboy things. You read a comic book for years and years, and you see a film, and it doesn't remind you of what you read. And
totally.
I always see movies; they make changes, and I'm okay with that. But I just felt that it was just so off the mark from the original, and that I had issues with it. But I haven't seen it since, so maybe my mind has changed by now. But that was the last movie I saw in theaters. So.
That's funny. Yeah.
David, what's the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw in theaters, I believe, is Tenet. Before the lockdown, like the first initial, like a year ago, it was Bloodshot.
Oh wow!
I was like, and it was right, like we saw, me and my friend Kevin, who might be tuning in right now, we saw it like days before like that big, that real lockdown happened. Also, Thomas, you just disappeared from the screen. Oh, there you are. Anyway, yeah, so I saw that, and Sonic was right before then. What's the last movie you saw in theaters, Thomas? I'm actually curious. Was it Tenet?
The last movie I saw in theaters was indeed Tenet, but before that, it was Onward. David, have you even seen Onward yet?
Great transition. So, what I've been watching lately this week, I'm going to answer that in the what I've been watching segment of this show. I finally saw Onward. I watched it on Disney Plus with my girlfriend. I don't even know how it really came about. I think we were discussing what to watch. We finished a show I'm going to discuss in a second of what I've been watching, and I'm like, I really want to see Onward. You know what it was? I'm like, I really want to rank the Pixar movies. And once I've seen Onward, I'll have seen all of them. Then my girlfriend points out, you haven't seen Cars. I don't even know if I knew that, but she's right. I have not seen Cars 3. So I've seen Onward now. And I'll tell you, I really enjoyed it, Thomas. I'm not sure how it ranks with Soul, just as like 2020 Pixar films. They're totally different. Soul's such more, they're both deep movies. They're both Pixar films, right? So they both have, those deeper meaning to them. Layers, exactly. And I loved Onward, though. I loved the adventure aspect of it being this ride, whereas like Soul, it's almost a bit slower, but it has, I think, maybe a few more layers in Soul for sure. But I think right now I'd say Onward was better if you're just going to compare those two. But I don't know. When I rank all of the Pixar movies, what I'm really excited to do, once I've seen Cars 3, of course, which I have not seen. But I was so turned off by Cars 2.
Yes.
I wasn't excited to see Cars 3, but yeah, Onward was very good. Chris Pratt is like, that character was made for Chris Pratt. It was funny. We were sitting there watching, and she was like, "Are you sure that's Tom Holland? It doesn't sound like Tom Holland." Like, which is good, that she got lost in the character. But Chris Pratt, you're like, that is Chris Pratt. Like, you might as well call him Chris.
Cube.
Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed Onward. I finally saw it. Never saw it in theaters, of course. But finally checked out on Disney Plus.
After 52 weeks, you finally saw it.
Hey, man.
Spoiler alert. I read about movies every day. I talk to people about films every single day. I had no idea the Cars 3. Like, when did that come out? And how come did I never heard of it? Like, what?
Yeah. No.
Breaking news, Mikey Sutton has never heard of Cars 3.
No, I think it came out surprisingly in 2017. I looked it up just today because I'm like, oh,
really?
That 4 years ago. I'm like, what? It seems like it was so recent.
I would not have guessed that.
Wow.
I remember it came out in June because I remember it was like near my birthday and stuff. But anyway,
must have been asleep or something. I just never even heard it exist.
Yeah,
it came out like
it definitely
2017. Yeah, we were getting ready for Ragnarok.
Oh well, that explains everything, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So the other thing on Disney Plus I watched was Assembled, the behind-the-scenes feature for WandaVision, which I thought was really well done. It was longer than I thought it was going to be, which I thought was great. It was like almost an hour, it felt like. But I loved getting specifically just like talking about it. I love the behind the scenes for the sitcom stuff. That was fantastic. Like those deep, and especially how they did the effects and how a lot of it was practical and old school. That was blowing my mind. And then the second thing was just getting moments with each of like the introduced characters, like Monica and Catherine Hahn's character, and even like revisiting Jimmy Woo and things like that. I loved hearing from Teyonah Parris and Catherine Hahn about those characters because it was their first time in the MCU, and it's always I love seeing that kind of sparkle in their eye because you see that with a lot of characters that come through these Marvel films, or actors I should say, where they do it and they're like, oh my gosh, there's something special about these movies, and I love to see that. And I thought they really like that's one of my biggest takeaways from it was seeing that sparkle. And I'm hoping obviously Monica will be coming back. Hopefully Catherine Hahn and Agatha will come back soon too.
WandaVision hit me on a personal level that I never thought it would. And it's a very unique experience for me. The first time I read a comic book was in 1978. My brother-in-law gave me a book called The Origins of Marvel Comics by Stan Lee. It had the first Doctor Strange appearance, Fantastic Four debut.
Yeah.
Had Silver Surfer in there. It had Amazing Fantasy 15, the first Spider-Man appearance. So those were my first comic books I ever read. Now, the interesting part about that was I was 9 years old, 78. I was reading that while I was watching I Love Lucy, and I never imagined the two worlds would ever collide.
Right.
Like, and WandaVision just combined like I Love Lucy and Marvel Comics. I'm like, okay, this takes me back to when I was 9. This is so weird.
That's so cool. Yeah.
That those two elements would be intertwined like that.
That was me kind of with Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, okay.
You know?
See, every generation has home.
Yeah.
Right? There's something that
exactly.
You can relate to in every generation.
It's so funny because like I had to rank the episodes for the website I write for, and like ranking them, I'm like, the Malcolm in the Middle episode was just my pure joyous favorite one. I think because of that, and I also like the Evan Peters being involved in that one the most, and I thought it was just a great episode. But yeah, that's so funny. Even like it went through those generations, and it did connect. Like you know, for me, I don't have memories of watching I Love Lucy, of course, even though I do love I love like older, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s sitcoms. Never got into I Love Lucy, but you know, having that connection and seeing those like combine, it was such a unique experience.
It was, and the show was constantly surprising to me.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think about all the fan theories and everything that just went bust and what people were expecting? Should we talk about Mephisto now?
Yeah, right.
You're Mephisto. I knew it. Mikey Sutton is Mephisto.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I would say the situation's a bit awkward, but actually, if you're Disney, you're pleased with it. Because it built up the crazy hype. It got so much attention. A lot of, you know, often because of those, and there's just building fan involvement and getting people more like invested in it is always a good thing. I would say, like business standpoint from Disney. As a viewer, I think it kind of took away from it a bit, personally, just because it raised those expectations, made you look for these like extra extraordinary, mind blowing things to happen. Where, you know, the show was very good. I enjoyed the show a lot. It had a great, you know, beginning, middle, and end. It had a good, nice story. But it didn't have all those crazy things that maybe people were theorizing and hoping for. I'll say what I am most frustrated about the whole thing when it comes to like theories and Easter eggs is Evan Peters, that character. I get how it was just this meta joke ultimately, and just kind of like a cool let him
now.
Yeah, for now. I have no hope that's going to lead anywhere, but
okay, here's where I have hope it's going to lead somewhere, because I'm always trying to connect threads that aren't there.
Of course.
I think, let's be real. What if Quicksilver, Pietro, Aaron Taylor Johnson version, you didn't see that coming? What if he technically was not given powers by the Mind Stone? He was instead given his powers from Wanda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she didn't want to go through what she was going through alone, so she gave powers to her brother. So then, now that she knows she has that ability, what if she ends up recruiting Ralph to join her? Because, like, he's gonna have memories of having that super speed, so he knows how to use it. What if that's how we get Evan Peters as Quicksilver in the MCU? It's not Peter, it's not Pietro, it's just Ralph Boner.
I have no faith we're getting him back. I don't know.
I've pitched a tent on that idea.
Well, I guess reminds me of Iron Man 3 when we had the fake Mandarin.
Yeah.
We're so disappointed. I'm like, that's the Mandarin? No way, it can't be. Well, it turns out the real Mandarin is coming. I mean...
But the problem is, I think that this is the reverse of that, where we already had Quicksilver, and he already existed as Quicksilver, and this is more of like, we're playing off he used to be, and making it this meta kind of... And, you know, like, bottom line, guys, come on. This was to bring in that crazy... They knew the theories were going to happen from this. Like, they can't deny that. They knew going to draw up crazy hype and attention and buzz, and everyone was going to be talking and blogging and talking about it on podcasts, stuff like that. And especially with the weekly format. like, you have a full week to talk about this, and weeks and weeks and weeks. There's a lot of other stuff that I think they've even come out after, like the showrunner Jack Schaefer and and the director, what's his name?
Matt Shackman.
Yeah, Matt Shackman. And they've said like the aerospace engineering thing was never supposed to be a big deal. It was never supposed to be like construed like that, where it's like that wasn't supposed to be set up in some way, which I think is just fun. It just kind of is what it is with the fans these days, especially in a Disney Plus show where you get it once a week and you can sit there and game on everything. Can you guys hear me?
No. You've dropped out of technology. So, David, I'll go ahead and tell everyone what I've been watching. I know this is going to come as a major surprise to everyone. Major surprise. I've been watching a lot of NFL Live. Good golly, Miss Molly. It's free agency. And let's just talk about how much about the cap I'm actually learning because of Mina Kimes. Shout out Mina Kimes for ESPN. I finally feel like I'm learning the salary cap. Now in Madden, maybe, just maybe, I will play with the salary cap on from now on. Probably not. But I mean, there's just been big money being spent. Bill Belichick is Belichicking it up, but like in a different way. I love it. Football's the best. Give it to me. Inject it into my body. Ironically, I watched The Last Blockbuster last night on Netflix.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that actually.
I do got to admit, I did fall asleep near the end because it was near midnight and I couldn't figure out how the story was going to keep going after 60 minutes. So I don't remember how it ended, but ironically, Netflix isn't the reason Blockbuster went under. It just happened to be, it's like cap situations, All of a sudden, you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do with this shield because I'm dying soon. And then we end up with Falcon and Winter Soldier. How did we get here, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. What else have I been watching? Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So here's going to be my one genuine serious pitch. Because I did watch Assembled, obviously. I love it. I love behind the scenes. Inject that directly into my veins. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. David, have you ever seen this? It was made for your age group.
The Disney XD show, right?
Facts.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like I was never like a fully ingrained watcher, but I've totally seen like a good amount of episodes.
Okay, well, you need to become like a super big fan. No, I'm just kidding, man. 52 episodes is all this entire series is. It's got comic storylines, comic tones, comic animation, characters you know and love from the MCU, some you've never met, some characters that are done in a different way, like Hela is comic accurate. She is the daughter of Loki. I always get confused on their relationship because of movies. But there's 5 character-specific episodes of the Avengers before assembling. They are on Disney Plus, episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yes. And then episodes 1 and 2 is they're assembling. And then, I always recommend watching the 5 by themselves, and then we go back. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's beautiful. It's grand. Son of a bitch, it's a great show.
Language.
Sorry, Cap. Sorry.
I still had 2 more things I'd watched before my mic crapped out.
You've been watching so much.
I know, right? So I have been watching I buried the lead. I have been binge watching Attack on Titan, which is an anime show. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Mikey, at all.
I'm familiar. I haven't seen it, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not an anime guy at all. Like I have hardly. What was that mean?
Okay, Siri.
I don't know. I think it was. Sorry. Sorry, Siri. I'm not an anime guy at all. I've hardly watched any anime. I have a bunch of friends that are really into anime generally, a bunch of different shows they've been trying to get me to watch over the years, and I've just been like, I don't really, I'm not into it. I've tried, not really got into it. This show, Attack on Titan, it's an anime. Obviously, it starts as a manga, and then they animate it, make it an anime. I love this show. I am fully caught up now. It's going on right now. It's the 4th season. It's happening weekly. It's coming out week by week, and I'm finally fully caught up. I really bulldozed through seasons 2 and 3, and then caught up on 4. It's hard to not pick up it's very easily accessible, the manga online, and you can kind of just like read ahead and find out what happened. I've maybe read a little bit, just because I got a little anxious. So I'm super invested in it. The show is just great. Like I would like anyone who's into like sci-fi action kind of like shows at all. It's a really, really well done show. Like you just care about the characters so much. And like there's just things in it that I haven't felt a certain way about just watching a show since like Game of Thrones. Like with character development and maybe like surprise deaths, perhaps. Like, stuff like that really makes you invest. And it's a downright just good show. The animation's really cool. And it all like, it's just kind of mind blowing at times. But anyway, the final thing I've been watching, me and my friend binged Behind Our Eyes, which is this six part not Disney Plus, Netflix show. It's kind of this weird, freaky thing. The ending makes you feel uncomfortable. It's kind of Black Mirror-ish in a way, but it's more a herd type of thing. I watched it. It was okay, but that's the last thing. But I would totally recommend Attack on Titan. I'm so into it. I want to buy the manga, like this book sets, and I'm already looking at them just because I'm so like invested now. And not to say I'm going to watch much more anime, but I do love that show. Mikey, have you been watching anything lately?
I'm always watching it. I watch too much, actually. Speaking of the NFL, I'm a big Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to follow the whole Russell Wilson situation to see if he'll be traded or not. So that's something I've been looking into.
I saw. I was gonna say I just read recently before we got on was that the Bears were trying to trade for him, like really hard push, but apparently the Seahawks were just not willing to trade him right now, which is good. Good for you, for sure.
I'm glad. I don't want to see him going. He took us to our first Super Bowl win, first professional championship since the Sonics. Oh.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I love Wilson.
Mm-hmm. What I've been watching lately, and I've been quite impressed with, is Superman and Lois, which I think is one of the best out of the DC CW shows.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons, the budget is really high on that series, you can tell. And I think part of it is because there's a kind of a co-financing from HBO Max that's with that series. Same thing with Stargirl. If you notice, the production values are much higher with Stargirl than they are with The Flash or Supergirl or Legends of Tomorrow. What I like about Superman and Lois is that it captures the best things about Man of Steel, but it still has that Richard Donner spirit.
Totally has that.
The old school Superman. And I think it's a show that everybody needs right now. It's a very uplifting show, and it's very well done. DC has incredible characters. I'm a big DC fan. And to see a show like this on the air, it's a dream come true. I mean, and when I was watching this series, I can't help but think this is what Smallville should have been. But don't get me wrong, the first season of Smallville was great, but I think having us wait 10 years to see Clark Kent wear his cape and we never saw it, that's worse than WandaVision. I mean, that's 10 years of waiting, and Mephisto didn't show up in season 10 either. You know what I mean? we had everybody but Mephisto show up. You had Dr. Fate in there, but okay. But let's not put Tom Welling in a cape, okay?
Right.
But no I'll say Smallville had a great Luthor, though. I mean, I have to say that. I mean, he was tremendous. But I like Superman and Lois quite a bit. And I'm noticing people who don't like Greg Berlanti stuff are like, they hate to admit they like Superman and Lois. So,
right.
Have you guys seen it? Have you guys watched it at all?
So I've only seen episode 1 so far. What, we're on episode 3 now, or it's going to be
3,
4 tonight. Right? Yeah.
4 tonight. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably honestly I enjoy it. I did not like the experience on the CW website watching it. It's just like so many ads. Getting bombarded. Like it wasn't an enjoyable experience watching it from that level where it honestly took away from it. Where it's like, oh, do I want to watch Superman and Lois? I enjoyed the first episode, right? But it's like I can go on Netflix or Disney Plus or my Hulu account, and there's no ads at all. You just go right through it. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I DVR everything and I fast forward the shit.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it.
I can't stand ads.
Yeah.
And I brought this up before with friends of mine. I said that superhero shows get bad ratings. They all do.
Yeah.
Because people like us, we don't want to sit through the ads. So we watch it on demand, or if it gets on Netflix, we'll watch it then. We won't watch it live though, because we're not going to sit through like Viagra ads,
Facts.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm honestly considering like maybe waiting for it to go on a streaming thing, and if I can watch it with no ads, and then just binge it. Binge it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth binging. It will be, and I think there's only like 10 episodes. I can't remember how many episodes, 15 or something like that. It's a lower episode count. It costs more.
Ooh.
That sounds great to me. And I'll tell you, Mikey, I'm a big Man of Steel fan. I really loved Man of Steel. I still love it. Which gives me some hope, I guess, for Justice League, even though, things have gotten crazy since then. But that movie in itself, I really loved, and I loved that take on Superman overall. Yeah. But I do appreciate this movie a lot, or show, I should say. And I noticed the budget. Like that was honestly maybe the first thing I noticed. Like this feels just totally different than the other CW verse shows. Yeah. And just higher quality, like to almost like different lighting and things like that.
It is. Yeah, the camera work. I mean, it's funny because I was watching The Flash last night as the season premiere. I mean, just shortly after Superman and Lois, I'm like, oh my god, you can really see the budget going down.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's like, okay, guys, put more money into this. It's been like 6 seasons now. Come on,
Right.
Yeah, for
Thomas,
real.
where are you in Superman and Lois?
I am caught up. I end up just watching it. I'll probably watch. Thankfully, I'm off work tomorrow, but whether or not I work at my other jobs is hard to say. So I might be watching Superman and Lois and Flash tomorrow. I might not. As of right now, those are the only 2 shows on the CW that I'm caught up with. I still got to go back and watch the end of Batwoman from last year to be able to watch the Batwoman from this year. Supergirl isn't starting for a while. Legends isn't starting for a while. Legends is the greatest show on TV.
I love Legends. I think it's the most twisted show. It's like American version of like Red Dwarf or something. The humor is so twisted on that series. It's hilarious.
Now their names are escaping me. Matt that plays Matt Ryan, yes, that plays Constantine.
Yeah.
And why can't I remember his name now? He plays Nate Haywood. That actor, they were at Pensacon and they were talking about like their favorite episodes, and they're talking and they're like, oh, well, the send-off of Ray Palmer and Brandon Routh is like a big episode, and it was coming up right around that time. Like it was a week or so away from that episode coming out, if I'm not mistaken. And then they're like, but my favorite episode is episode 14. And I can't tell you why, but it's the craziest thing we've ever done. And that was their metaverse, or their meta stuck in a sitcom. Like it was the one they were stuck in TV, and I happened to watch that like the week before WandaVision started, and all I could think was, "Oh my God, they did WandaVision before WandaVision."
You know what? That's a great point. That's forgotten now. You're right, though.
Yeah. Like I watched it and I was like, I have so much appreciation for the way that they've done this. Like they're literally in Friends in the apartment. Then they go and they're on a spaceship. It is Star Trek, and then they just keep bouncing around. It's wild.
Yeah.
And David refuses to watch it.
I don't refuse. I watched it when it first started. I was more into Arrow and Flash back in the good old days, as I would put it, for the CW. And then that started up. That's when it kind of went wrong a bit for me, when they just got to be so many shows, and it's like they're all connected, and it wasn't in a positive way in my mind, because there's just so much content. Like these are all like 23, 25 episode seasons, and they're all like an hour long.
I had a hard time following that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legends got better with season 2, where they threw the rule book and just went totally nuts. I mean, I mean, the first season has some serious moments. By season 2, it's just full on demented. I mean, it's really crazy. And you're like, we're not even gonna play this straight anymore. We're just gonna go crazy. Like, okay, sure.
The concept's really funny, and I've always heard it was good. Like, I had even a friend who used to be really into like Flash and Arrow and stuff with me as well, and like was super into that. And obviously Thomas tells me that. But yeah, I mean, I listen, but I don't always. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not that into these CW shows anymore. Superman and Lois, in a way, has kind of brought me back in, even though it doesn't even feel like I'm like pulled back in a way. I've only seen one. Yeah, I've only seen one episode. I'm interested in watching it though, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't even feel that connected to me. Obviously because of the Crisis stuff and everything like that. But when I'm not listening to my friends, you guys can listen to this audio podcast. You guys can find our audio podcast, LightsThunderAction, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and our hosting site, Spreaker. Going for a run, taking a jog, doing whatever, driving your car, don't want to look at our ugly mugs. Check out our audio podcast. Find us there. Maybe leave us actually, first thing you should do is subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. And if you're feeling generous, leave us a review. You can do the little star thing, 5 stars, write a little comment. That'd be great. We appreciate all of that. Thomas is Chucker, and I'm about to throw it to him whenever he gets ready because the audio podcast isn't all that we do. Thomas, what else you got for me?
You can catch us live streaming directly into your homes and phones on the HWWS WebTV channel on YouTube and our Facebook page of Lights Thunder Action. I am crying because I have a chip stuck in my sinuses. But you can find all of our social media links for Lights Thunder Action at linktree.com/LightsThunderAction. That is LIGHTSTHUNDERACTION. Lights Thunder Action. We would normally take an ad break here, but to quote Red from That 70s Show, there's no time. So we're going to jump right into everyone's favorite segment of the week.
What the news?
All right, guys. Starting off with a very topical topic, let's say. Snyder comes out in 2 days. A ton of people have seen it. There's a lot of people in the media that have been getting those premiere codes that I've loosely heard of, and being able to see the Snyder Cut. And now officially, there are reviews coming out, and it is currently sitting at a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is vastly higher. Let me see while I'm sitting here looking at this. Like for the first one, 77%.
Yeah, that sounds like 60% higher than the Justice League. Pretty sure it's 17.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Justice League is 40. It's at 40%. So it's 37% higher. I could see where 40 would be the case. I mean, that's still, rotten. 77 though, guys. I'll be honest. I have not been that excited for the Snyder Cut. I almost was more a few months ago. And as the marketing went along, I felt like it seemed a bit too much like the original from just the way it looked. The reviews are positive. It's 4 hours long. What I hear is that it almost in a lot of ways it has a good bit of the Justice League in it, but it adds so much more to it, and you do see Snyder's vision, and it also seems to set up, what would have been, what could have, would have, should have maybe been a Justice League 2 and 3, with the dark side. And what's interesting too about this whole situation is that we would have never seen a 4-hour Snyder Cut, even if Snyder was able to finish out his original vision for a theatrical release, because in the theaters they would never allow it to be 4 hours long. That's unbelievable. I mean, people aren't going to go see the film. But now it seems like seeing his real cut of it. I don't know when I'm going to watch this, but I am surprised, by the overwhelming. It seems overwhelming to me because I was expecting like this to be around like 55, like Man of Steel kind of numbers, where it's more divisive. You know what I mean? Where I loved it, but a lot of people hated it. Some were like, it didn't feel like Superman to me. Mikey, you saw that now it's getting positive reviews. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay. I have a little bit of a personal attachment to the Snyder Cut because I was the guy who scooped it back in November 2019. So I will see it first day that's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
When I first the first feedback I was seeing, I don't know if these were Snyder fans or just people in general. I was getting some personal messages saying, "Hey, it's not that great. Don't expect much." And so it's like, okay, I expect another polarizing film, and I posted on my Facebook page that I'm getting some kind of mixed responses here from people who have seen the movie. I don't know if these are Snyder fans or what, but they just don't seem that overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
Until I was on Sil Abdul's YouTube channel last week sometime. The day before, a source had called me and said, "I am going to preach the gospel of the Snyder Cut to you." And like, you gotta be kidding me, because you're the biggest Marvel fanatic that I know. This guy collects every single Funko Marvel pop you can find. Right?
Yeah.
This guy has the Winter Soldier on a pedestal. I mean, Endgame, and he's like, "This is up there." And I'm like, you're smoking crack, man. There's no way you, of all people, would say the Snyder Cut is brilliant. He goes, "No, I'm serious. It's a damn good movie."
Yeah.
If they had let Snyder do 3 of them, they would have gotten their Endgame.
Right.
I mean, the way it builds, he compared it to Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's how much praise he gave it.
Yeah.
He said what he liked about the film was the confidence that it had in Zack's directing, and it was much better than Joss Whedon's version, where he looked completely lost. I mean, the film was a haphazard movie. It's just went in all directions. This film is more streamlined. It's more focused. Right. And he liked how Steppenwolf was portrayed much better in here. And he said it just made much more sense, and the action scenes felt more visceral. And he just, like, for an hour just raving about it. I'm like, okay, maybe there is something here after all, you know? And then all the reviews started coming out, and I'm like, oh my God, he was right. I mean, there are people who are really engaged in this. Now, Entertainment Weekly magazine ran a very, very negative review of the film. Now, what I find interesting about that is that Matt Jarbo from 3 Buck Theater pointed out the reviewer is a little sketchy. The guy they hired to review the film. He reviewed The Witcher without seeing more than 1 episode, I think. He didn't see all the 5 episodes that he was given to watch. And he goes, why did they hire this guy to review the Snyder Cut? And this writer apparently doesn't like Henry Cavill that much. Like, anything Cavill, he puts down. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Entertainment Weekly is owned by Warner Brothers. They don't like Snyder. I brought this up before. They don't like his work. It was AT&T that pushed for the Snyder Cut, not Warner Brothers.
Right.
So it seemed intentional. They would get this guy to do a trash heap on the Snyder Cut, and so that review is very dubious. If anybody runs into it, I wouldn't.
Interesting.
Trust it.
I kind of want to check it out more now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious, like, I want to see his review now. But he said it was just basically hot garbage the way he. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but But this guy is obviously biased, and I wouldn't like. Why would Warner Bros. Hire this guy who doesn't like Henry to review the movie? It's like they intentionally wanted to slam the film. I mean, Walter Hamada, DC Films president, doesn't want this movie to succeed. He wants the Snyderverse to die.
And, it seems that way, right? I mean, it's just, and what's crazy too, I wanted to bring this up, like your guys' thoughts, after since people have been seeing it, now the trending hashtag is restore the Snyderverse. There's fans not only being like, oh, this is good, but let's bring it back, keep going, let's build off of this. I think because this film seems to do such a good job of setting it up. I'm seeing it. I don't know. I'm optimistic now, though.
Be very optimistic. Yeah, be very optimistic. My guy was like, I know you're a big MCU fan, but you're gonna love this film. Like, hey, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the trailers look great. I mean, So
I mean, Black Suit Superman. That look.
You can't beat that, right? You can't beat that.
To me, that's what kind of gets me. Thomas, you saw these positive reviews for the Snyder Cut. What are your thoughts going in on Thursday?
Leading into it, really, all I can really think is...
Well. How the turntables...
Because now David is on board that other people think it's going to be good. And I've been here the whole time.
It is good. They saw it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be good that they think it is good. It's the difference.
Listen, regardless of that fact, however you want to predispose that legal sentence, Mr. David.
There.
Yeah, but that difference is a sneeze away from the meaning. So
yeah, but it's pivotal. It's pivotal.
Yes. So David had no hope for this movie, and now that he's heard it's good,
I have hope.
He has hope. Because let's all not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that hope is like the sun. If you only believe it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night. But David over here has got some hope, and all I can really think of now is...
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Everybody calm down! No!
We will not stay calm. We will go into that night, and we will scream and holler, because I don't know if you've seen the 3-hour version of Batman versus Superman, but it makes that movie so much better. I loved that movie when it first came out, because I'm like, they took Dark Knight Returns and The Death of Superman and they put it in the same movie. Like, despite my misgivings about the theatrical cut, I was like, it's missing stuff, and you can tell. And then I watched the 3-hour cut, and I was like, oh, well, there you go. Like, that's his whole version. So when they announced the Snyder cut, I'm like, great, we get to see his version, because his true vision sounded insane and bonkers and like something I would want to watch. And if you think about the way he's telling it, he was well ahead of Marvel in terms of, long form storytelling. They just now did WandaVision. I don't even think WandaVision hovers around. I think WandaVision now hovers around about 4 hours. So it's about a 4-hour film of content that you see. Yeah. And so Snyder Cut's going to be the same thing. So the fact that it's good, although a little surprising that it's been so overwhelmingly good, I'm not surprised that it is good, because more often than not, when you're given a director's full vision, you go, oh, wow, okay, I see the story they were telling, and like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the more the marketing comes out, the more confused I am, and the more that I am intrigued, because I'm like, where would this even fit into the movie is all I can think. And normally I'm like, oh, I know exactly where this fits into the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. And I'm ready for, I want to say Thursday, but I'm not going to be able to watch it Thursday.
Yeah, I'm curious when I'll actually be able to see it. Part of me wishes that this was a part of the whole theater and HBO Max plan. I mean, it is the HBO Max thing. Like, it is their HBO Max project. Like, since day one of announcing it's actually happening, it's like HBO Max, like, go there. You need to get that for this. So I understand like the marketing tool, but part of me, I mean, even though it's 4 hours long, I'd rather sit in a theater and see that this actually happened.
Perfect segue into what I've been hearing about Snyder and HBO Max is AT&T. They're more focused on HBO Max than theatrical releases. I mean, HBO Max is their future. I mean, it's the future of Warner Brothers, and they feel that they can make so much money every month from HBO Max. And instead of waiting for that blockbuster hit in theaters, where they're going to have blockbusters on HBO Max all the time and get subscriber money every single month.
Yep.
Now, they feel that Zack Snyder is a perfect filmmaker for HBO Max or content creator because he thinks long form. I mean, that's his vision, is long form. And they feel the Snyder Cut is the beginning of an entirely new DC universe for him on HBO Max. So this show hits, you're going to see a lot of Snyder on HBO Max. A lot. You're going to see those Man of Steel sequels. You're going to see more Justice League. And he'll be fully uncompromised. I mean, he'll have all the hours that he wants to create these graphic novels on film. And
that'd be so interesting, almost like kind of working around DC Films and Walter Hamada and letting them do their thing and then having him do his thing. Like, that'd be interesting. I mean, I know obviously we're getting the J.J. Abrams, Superman reboot, it seems like. But like I said earlier, I'm a big Man of Steel fan. I've always wanted a proper Man of Steel 2. I understand this big overarching, Batman v Superman and then Justice League story arc, but I've always just wanted just a sequel. Just give me a sequel. I'm not asking for all this craziness. Just give me a proper Superman sequel. So if that ever happened on HBO Max, I would lose my mind and be the number one fan waiting for that.
Well, I tell you, the best quote my source gave me, it was the last thing he said to me. He said, "You know what? If I was to summarize the Snyder Cut in one sentence, it'd be this. This film is more metal than Thor Ragnarok." That's how metal it is.
Yes.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready.
You heard it here first. Spoiler alert. or should I say it's more metal than Mephisto? So there should be a song, right? More metal than Mephisto. There should be a song, like, you guys can record it now,
Yeah.
More metal than Mephisto.
Let's move on to some even bigger movies here. This was kind of a sad story for me.
Oh God!
Avatar overtakes Avengers Endgame at the overall worldwide box office. Obviously,
No, God!
So wrong.
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, I mean, that was totally my reaction. I felt a victory after seeing Endgame like
too, right?
8 times in theaters. Like, yeah, they finally overtook it. Let's go. Got an event.
Thanos.
I mean, especially because Avatar was such the number is unbelievable that it seemed insurmountable. And finally, Avengers got it. Let's go. The joke about this is that they're both now owned by Disney, so it's like they're just scratching their own back here.
Yeah,
there's nothing really happening, and of course, you get the Russos like congratulating them because they're all it's all owned by the same people, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, James Cameron, this gives him, kind of a leg up and, a moral victory as he's preparing his 18 sequels that are never going to actually come out. So
now that's the take. That's the take I like.
I'm not a big Avatar guy. I never saw it when it first came out. I just recently watched a couple of years ago on my phone. Or no, it was only like last year on Disney Plus, and I'm just on an airplane watching it on my phone. I'm like, wow, movie the number one.
The way it was meant to be seen on your phone.
yeah, exactly.
That's how David watches all things. Mandalorian.
Mandalorian's one, yeah. But no, I love the theater. It's just when that's my issue, right? I love the theater because it makes me watch things in a proper way without my phone. But when I'm given the opportunity to watch it on my phone or my TV, oftentimes I'm anxious. I want to see it now. I watch it on my phone. I'm not setting I don't have a nice home theater like other people do that are like, why would I go to a movie theater when I have my super nice home theater? That's great
Kevin
for
Smith.
Right. But I don't. So yeah, I watched it on my phone. I think Avatar is fine. I'll watch the sequels. So I'm sure the CGI, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I love the, I don't know if you guys have heard of it or been, but at Disney World in Animal Kingdom in Orlando, they have the, they take you, the Pandora Avatar, kind of section. And that is so cool. They have a really cool rides there and stuff. So I went there before I even saw the film and thought it was neat. But, anyway, Mikey, what were your thoughts of Avatar overtaking Endgame?
Oh man, I just wanted to scream. I could not sit through Avatar. I didn't see it in the theater, which I should have, I guess. But
everyone else seems to.
I could. Now, who was the star of that guy that really bland actor?
Sam Worthington.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Zoe Saldana. No,
he's the most faceless, boring actor. I mean, he was in the Clash of Titans remake as well. I'm like,
yeah.
And no, I was so disappointed. Is James Cameron re-releasing that film just to overtake Endgame? I mean, it's
seems that way.
And why would you want to see it again? It's been on video for so long now. I mean.
And it's been re-released before. I remember they cheated because they what I would consider cheating, where
it is cheating,
they re-released it 6 months later, and they they had some weird upgrade to it. I forget what it was, maybe it was 3D or something, and it's re-released, upgraded.
They definitely released that junk in 3D because that's why they were inflated so high, and that's the reason I liked that movie when it first came out. Listen, okay, granted, I love all movies when I first see them, including Green Lantern. So
I still like that movie.
I do too. There's certain things in it that I'm like, that is a terrible choice. Hashtag Galactus Parallax.
That was terrible. That was bad.
Yeah.
But like, pretty much every movie I've ever seen, I'm like, I love that movie, and then I watch it more, and I'm like, I don't love this movie. It doesn't stand up repeated viewings. I made a mistake. Avatar is one of them. Yeah. I watched it, and I was like, okay, this is good, and then I saw it in 3D, and I was like, okay, no, this was really good. Then I watched it without all the bells and whistles, and I was like, this is a boring 3-hour movie of Pocahontas done not well.
Yeah, it looks better than in the story actually is. And I watched it on my phone, and I could still say that it looked better. Like the world, it encompasses you, and I'm sitting there like this, but I still enjoy that aspect of it, like this world building. And I think I've seen some people where it's like, it's original IP, and it's like that's unique in itself, unlike an Avengers or something. But I don't know about that. I'm going to move on to something that's not original IP.
But before you do that, because really to me, I think this is Disney just pulling a fast one on us with it was Avatar all along.
And people watch to see if Mephisto would show up at the end.
Yeah.
It's a Mephisto cut.
He's blue. He must be Mephisto. Release the Mephisto cut and the mustache cut while we're at it. I still want the mustache Justice League. I really do. I know I'm the only one, but will this be Disney just repeatedly re-releasing Endgame and
they should just to top it.
And Avatar just to do this, box office battle for the #1 spot, inciting a fandom war? Because I could see Disney doing that.
Before you proceed, besides us three, is there any nostalgic affection for Avatar? Which I don't see them. I don't see people talking about, I miss Avatar. What a great day that was when I saw it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't see there's no nostalgia for it.
Listen, I've never understood it. I've never understood how it owned that unbelievable box office record. I just never got it. I guess because it was unique, and everyone. I remember when it was coming out, everyone kept saying and talking to me it just looks so cool. It was solely based off the appeal of how it looked, the computer graphics, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch Spider-Man on DVD. I'll see you later. I don't know.
That's my man. That's my dude right there.
So let's move on to our next bit of news here. Let's make it all one section, Thomas. But if you could you click on the Twitter link and maybe share your screen if you possibly could, Thomas? If you see what I'm talking about, not the direct link, the Twitter link. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
David, I cannot hear you. Hey, there we go. I think my Wi-Fi went out at the same time that David's lost his mic. So now we're gonna move on to our next news piece somewhere down here. The Batman. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The Batman has wrapped.
I'm back.
Filming. Hello.
The Batman has wrapped filming.
Yeah.
All right.
Woo!
I'm so excited for this film. Matt Reeves tweeted out, is the final little the little clipboard thing.
It's called a slate.
Slate?
Slate, yes, sir.
Thank you, actor guy. The slate of the Batman and being like, hey, it's all done. I'm excited for this. Obviously, it got postponed because of COVID and all that good stuff. And now the movie got delayed until, what is it? It's March of next year. So it's a year away. But man, did that first trailer look amazing. And I am super excited for this film. I'm so happy they are making it a side story. It has nothing to do with the DCEU. And in my mind, that is a total and complete win. So yeah, this to me, last day on the Batman. I cannot wait to see this film. Thomas, you saw it wrapped up filming. What were your thoughts?
Well, to quote my other half, it's about time. Here's my real thought. I don't give a shit anymore.
Language.
Sorry, Cap, but I really don't care because when it comes to the release date, it's no longer giving me a reason to be excited about my 30th birthday. I don't want to be 30.
Oh,
like, it's
right.
not even that old, right? But it was going to come out on my birthday. And they took away Wonder Woman from me. And now they're taking away the Batman from me. And I don't even think I'm going to get a Venom consolation prize. So
you might, Venom could hop in there because Venom, now Venom's got that competition on June 25th. I'm not trying to give you false hope here, Thomas, but there's always a chance. Mikey, you saw the Batman.
You never know. They might re-release Avatar on your birthday, so you never know. Give you a free pass.
Please don't.
The James Cameron cut. Like,
it'll be in 4D.
6 freaking hours of Avatar. Imagine.
It's B4D.
Blow wind on you. So Mike, the Batman wrapped filming. Do you have any thoughts on this film?
I mean, I'm very excited about the film. I think Robert Pattinson's gonna shock people. Have you noticed that every Batman cast is always met with skepticism and like bad reactions? Like Michael Keaton, he's gonna suck. He's good.
Yeah.
I mean, like Ben Affleck, no. Actually, he's probably the best. Like,
thank you, Mikey. I agree with that.
Like the only one that was George Clooney. I mean he did suck.
I even like Val Kilmer.
He's admitted I love Val Kilmer.
I love Val Kilmer too.
Yeah.
He was my favorite Bruce Wayne until Ben Affleck.
Yeah, he was. Same here. I agree with you.
That was my favorite, like 80s or whatever, that kind of era of Batman, those 4 Batman films. That was my favorite Batman Forever when I was a kid. It wasn't the original Batman. Yeah, I liked that.
94? 95?
Batman
96?
Forever?
Yeah, 95, 96, I think.
Yeah.
95, 95.
What was what's the one with the penguin? I hate that movie. It freaks me out.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns from 92.
That movie freaks me out. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why, but I just cannot watch that film. It freaks me out.
I mainly like it for Michelle Pfeiffer, but Penguin was gross.
Yeah, and there was just
didn't he eat a bird in there or something? It was a really gross out scene. I think he ate a bird or something.
Super weird feel.
It was disgusting
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's better than Avatar, though.
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, it's hilarious to think that same guy is on Always Sunny with in Philadelphia, and he just starts blasting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the Batman. I think it's gonna be really good. I like how it's set in year 2. It seems like of like him actually Bruce being Batman. The suit looks great. Like I said, I need to rewatch that trailer like really soon because it's been a while and I love it.
I like the fact they're gonna focus on his detective skills in the
right,
which we haven't really seen before. We've seen a more physical Batman, but here's a more intellectual Batman.
Yeah, I love that, and I think it being and it being out like kind of like the Nolan films, it being outside of this superhero world, it just being about Batman, similar to Joker, where it's like just in Gotham City, and it's Gotham City is such a cool place for any film to take part in. That's why they're developing that Gotham PD series on HBO Max, because Gotham is such a cool place. Batman has the best rogues gallery of villains, in my opinion.
Easily, he does, yeah.
And Batman to me, well, here's the thing, Mikey. Like, I'm a DC fan. I'm a DC fan, but I'm not like I'm way more into Marvel typically, and by far, Batman is my favorite DC character. If it wasn't for Batman, DC would seem like low, like a couple of notches below Marvel in my book.
Yeah,
he is just such a good character, and I think this, like, for instance, Batman Year One, I have it right here. This is my favorite comic book, period. Yet I'm like, Spider-Man's a favorite hero. I adore this comic book because of, like you said, the detectiveness of it, the feel of Gotham City, Batman actually being a real person trying to deal with these things. I think this movie could embody some of the things in that book, and I am really excited for it.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing as well, and that is also my favorite Batman comic book of all time.
Really? Awesome.
Frank Miller, oh man.
Most people, it's Batman Returns, right?
Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Mine is Year One. I get that Year One has that kind of Pulp Fiction, like film noir element to it. And it's more introspective, more. It's very gritty. It's more down to earth.
Exactly.
Like if Batman could exist in real life, that's what it would read like.
And the Catwoman's really good in it too. The Catwoman in the Batman film is going to be almost like a play on her more. And man,
How about Commissioner Gordon in year one? He just is a total badass. That's the first time I saw him just totally badass. So it was like, wow, I never thought I see Gordon this way. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like that comic makes me excited for what the Gotham PD show could be too with around Gordon, because Gordon is such a good character in the comic. Like he's easily my second favorite, and in the second, he's like the second listed character I would say for that comic. He's like, it's kind of like the duality of this cop and then of this vigilante, and it's so great. I really hope. I have full faith this movie's going to be great. Like if Batman. Honestly, like any movie coming out in the next like year or so, behind Spider-Man No Way Home, this movie this movie could let me down the most, I think. Because I have my expectations so high for it, and I just feel like I have so much confidence it's going to be great, especially after that trailer. I loved the trailer. So I'm excited to wrap filming, just kind of close up that bit of news. But let's move on.
Yes, I'm going to want dibs on this quote.
I want to read you. I was going to ask you if you could read this. So Benedict Cumberbatch says he will not play Thrawn in any kind of upcoming Disney Plus show. Maybe it's Ahsoka or, whatever else they got going on Disney Plus with Star Wars. But, people were fan casting for him. And he basically said in an interview with, I think it was, I forget who exactly, but he basically was like, oh, that blue guy. No. Thomas, read me this quote. I want to hear it. It's a really funny quote.
That's a straight no from me right now. There's no way I want to be turned blue. I turned the air blue very recently. No. Seriously, I have precious time with my children, and I think sitting in a makeup chair and being painted blue and the amount of time it would take to do that and then take it off at the end of the day might just... It's not the right time in my life for that.
Yeah. And, it makes sense. I would understand that. Maybe he heard from his pal, Paul Bettany, how grueling it can be with the makeup. Maybe Paul Bettany would be interested. He seems fine with it. Hey, he's used to getting makeup on and off. But, I'm averagely excited for the introduction of Thrawn, but I haven't seen Rebels. So I think that would...
Rebels is a great show.
David, get it together.
That and Legends of Tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Rebels first.
Okay.
Rebels
I've watched. Yeah.
I met Paul Bettany and Liz Olsen about 3 years ago.
That's awesome.
And Paul Bettany, they were just hilarious. I had this like silk shirt on when I met them both, and Paul Bettany was. I have a really bad accent here. He's like, "Where did you get that shirt? That is a radical shirt. Where can I buy that?"
Yeah.
And he wouldn't stop like asking me about it. The photographer was getting really annoyed because we were getting a photo together, and he kept delaying the shot because he kept asking about where I got the shirt. So we the picture was finally taken, but Liz and I just couldn't stop giggling because Paul just kept asking about where'd you get that bloody shirt?
Yeah. No. Hey, that's a big compliment. He's a stylish guy.
I know, right? Yeah. So I was like, wow, But I think Benedict, you park enough money in front of his house, I think go ahead and do the blue paint, whatever.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. And I mean, he already there is that Disney connection. I think that's what a lot of people are pointing to, where he is already the Sorcerer Supreme. So hey, let's film a couple episodes over here with Dave Filoni. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Thomas, you saw this. Were you disappointed or have any thoughts?
No, I didn't even think of him as playing Thrawn.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I personally think that they should just get the voice actor.
Yeah, exactly.
That played Thrawn, Lars Mikkelsen. He's got enough of a name. He's got enough of the features, but more importantly than anything, he already has the voice and the cadence down to freak you out. And that is all we really know. That's the only thing we really have to grasp our arms around as for Thrawn, for humanizing that character. No, produce Thor. But really, it's the fact that he knows the character just the same way that we had Katie Sackhoff from. I'm always gonna say from Battlestar Galactica, fracking A. The fact that she got to voice Sabine's sister, Bo-Katan, and then bring her to live action as the first and only actor to create a character for animation and be that same character in live action. I think Lars Mikkelsen should be given that opportunity to do that because we have all these great fan castings, but at the end of the day, why don't we just go with what's right? And, you know, while we're here and talking about Thrawn, there's that rumor of Aladdin, who I should know the actor's name. I'm sorry, brother.
Oh my gosh.
He's supposed to be playing Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
You know, he's rumored to play Ezra. And I'm like, you know what? That is actually a good fit. I could see him pulling off the naivety of the character of Ezra along with the weight of the world on his shoulders at the same time. I can instantly saw that. I'm like, that's a good pull.
It's Mina Musaud. Sorry.
Yes. No, thank you for that.
Yeah, I loved him in Aladdin, and I'm sorry I didn't add to the. I don't know why I didn't add this, but
Lars wouldn't cost as much as Benedict either, so
exactly
like half a Brinks truck instead of
But yeah, I think he'd be great as. I mean, I haven't seen Rebels obviously, but I'd love to see him in Star Wars generally. And he actually, did you see Thomas? He posted on his Instagram, and he has a quote from Ezra from Rebels. Yeah, so I'm like, maybe it seems real.
Salt Bay over here just dropping fire, you know.
Like, hey guys, I'm not Ralph Boner, okay? Don't worry.
Please no.
I wouldn't pull a boner on you. So.
He's Aladdin Skywalker.
Oh my god.
Skywalker, there you go.
No. If anything, that Star Wars, they should take a lot of things out of Marvel's book. It should not be that. It should not be some meta cameo that leads to absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
like a Legends character comes in and they're like, "Oh, I'm someone completely different, and I have no meaning." That'd be unfortunate. I'm Darth Bane. I do nothing.
Anyway. Don't even tease me with that terrible of a time, man.
Yeah, right.
Why would you do that to me? Why did I all of a sudden become a Wisconsin guy?
Well, hey, Mike.
I'm a female redhead with a lightsaber. I'm not married. I'm not Mary Jane. You know, I'm just. I'm Mara Boner. You know.
Yeah.
Mary Boner.
I'm still kind of annoyed that MJ in MCU is Michelle Jones. Like, They tried to do a lot of different things with the MCU because I think there was to obviously set up
oversaturation of those characters. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't want to do Harry. They didn't want to do a proper MJ or Gwen Stacy. You know, and
we want those to feel earned.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Harry does come in because I think having the Osborn does not go completely off track here, but I think the Osborns in the MCU could be great for that, you know, cinematic universe, and Peter Parker if he leads into a second trilogy, which seems like the trajectory they're going on right now.
Yeah.
Where he'll be in college.
Yeah, there's gonna be a college trilogy after this one. And
yeah.
They really want to get Bryan Cranston to play Norman Osborn. Is what
I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, that's that. He's a front runner for Norman.
I read that on Geekosity.
Thank you. Yeah, that was mine.
And I was like, hey man, that's good.
That's cool. Yeah,
that is really great casting. If he gets the role, I just see if you cast anybody else, then I'll be let down. I'm like, but it's not Bryan Cranston. And like, you know,
that's always hard to do.
What if they cast Bruce Campbell as Norman Osborn?
You know, I people have been saying, what if Bruce Campbell is Mephisto? Like, come on, game over. I mean, you know,
as Mephisto? Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Sam Raimi directing Bruce Campbell as Mephisto. I mean, that's it. That's a $2 billion. Fuck Avatar, man. It's gone. I mean, the record's broken easily.
Yeah. I think that Bruce Campbell would be a great Norman Osborn because he has that ability to play this very serious businessman and very intense and very insane and creepy, while also at the same time his public persona would be playing off of Tony Stark in the same sense of, you know, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. I'm a quick-witted to say whatever I want, and I'm also Bruce Campbell, so I can just smile, wink, and wave.
He's supposed to be in Doctor Strange.
He is. Yeah. He's got incredible charisma. I mean, he can pull it off.
Yeah.
Love Bruce Campbell. I don't think I've ever done anything wrong.
I've always seen Bruce Campbell as Wonder Man. I just to like playing that cheesy B actor. And he looks like Wonder Man. You can put him in the red coat. You know, I mean,
that'd be cool.
You're right. He would definitely pull off Wonder Man. Especially if they go the full, like, he becomes like the energy. Simon Williams is just straight purple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know. then you just put him in a mocap suit, and he'll have more fun than you ever needed him to have.
He looks like a Simon Williams. Like if he's named Simon Williams, you think of Bruce Campbell's face. I mean,
Yeah, actually, it does. Like he's got that strong, chiseled jaw, that old school '50s vibe.
Yeah,
Elvis
he does.
impersonator.
See, come on, let's cast him now. Come on.
Yeah. Let's
hire us, Marvel. Come on.
Well, hey, Mikey. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have to run.
Thank you.
You already kind of laid out that scoop about potentially Zack Snyder doing some HBO stuff. Do you have anything else for us?
Yeah, I got a big one actually. It's funny you guys had no idea what was coming, but everything that you've been saying relates to my scoop. So it's perfect trajectory here, because we're going to enter the J.J. Abrams Pocket Universe on HBO Max. And I say Pocket Universe because everything he's doing is not connected to anything else. I mean, there's no DCEU connection whatsoever. He's got his own little playground, which is what he wants. That's why you're seeing a reboot of Superman. That's nothing to do with Zack Snyder. So I'm not sure if you guys watched the Swamp Thing show that was on DC Universe.
I did not watch it. I heard it was great though.
It was a good show. It was probably the first serious live-action treatment of Swamp Thing that we have seen. So on that level, it's much better than. Did you guys ever see the Swamp Thing cartoon from the '90s? It was so bad.
I did not know.
I remember seeing clips of it, but
like the theme song is a remake of Wild Thing, but with Swamp Thing lyrics.
Swamp Thing, you make my heart sad.
So what I'm hearing is that Swamp Thing is being planned as a member of Justice League Dark for J.J. Abrams, and he's planning on spinning it off into his own show, like a Swamp Thing series, which will be very Vertigo comics, very, very dark, very horrifying, which with a bigger budget than it had on DC Universe.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying that J.J. Abrams, his his universe with Superman leading the pack will be an HBO Max thing. Well,
the Superman film will be a theatrical release.
Yeah.
But on HBO Max, he will have separate shows that are not connected to even the reboot of Superman either.
Yeah.
But his own little pocket universe. Again, they're looking for more content for HBO Max.
Yeah.
So basically, it's going to be Abrams versus Snyder because they're going to have their own little DC libraries on HBO Max.
That really does line up with, from DC fandom, Walter Hamada being like, I mean, he was basically just like, it's all a multiverse, everything we do, and there can be Elseworld stories and disconnected stories. And I think, honestly, for DC, instead of playing catch up with Marvel and making this spectacularly connected universe, might be the smartest route for them, where it actually brings in fan interest. Like me, I'm freaking out about the Batman. It's connected to nothing, and I still care deeply about that. I want to see J.J. Abrams' Superman a lot, even though I'm a big fan of Man of Steel, just because it's a huge character. It might be the first black Superman, which is super intriguing. And even seeing some sort of spin-offs on HBO Max, I think that could be a really smart way. Let me ask you this, Mikey, right before you go. Do you think, because there's some speculation, AT&T, they have this plan that every movie this year is day and date, theatrical, and HBO Max. Do you think that goes beyond 2021, or do you think that's just 2021?
I think it's just 2021.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to last. Here's what I predict: when theaters are wide open, everybody's okay. I mean, vaccinations are everywhere. Life is back to normal.
Yeah.
I think the theatrical box office is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Which is when Avatar will get reissued again.
Yeah.
But I think more directors are going to complain. Like Nolan was really upset with.
Totally.
And they don't want to lose people like that. They don't want to lose people like James Gunn. So I think it's a temporary measure because they have an excuse. They have an excuse right now while theaters aren't open yet. So we gotta do this.
Exactly. I mean, we're in totally different times with everything happening. And right now, it actually seems like, it's not helping the theaters at all, which I care about. But I think for people seeing their movies, as quickly as possible, this is a great move because day and date means anyone who wants to see it that doesn't feel comfortable going to a theater, hey, they can if they have the subscription. But if you do want to go to that theater, you can get that experience. So for right now, I mean, I was upset when it happened just because, it seemed like a really bad move business-wise for theaters, which I care about. And it seems like Disney isn't really going with that, which I'm kind of excited about for the prospect of Black Widow and all the rest of their movies. Obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home said only in theaters, and that was like a pretty pivotal point of their marketing. So
also Sony. So
correct. Yeah. I mean, but now, what's interesting about that relationship is that it's a little more connected now because Marvel does have some of their own skin in the game money-wise in the solo Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like Sony still will be leading the marketing campaign because they own the majority. It's just all that's very interesting to me. Terry in the comments.
Yes, sir. So we have a question for you, Mikey, from Terry McIver, our social media guru and master. He wants to know, do you think we'll get Constantine back for DC Dark?
Yeah, you will, but it won't be Matt Ryan though. They are casting for a Black Constantine actor now. And I mentioned before that JJ is not going to bring back any other actors who other filmmakers have used. He's going to cast his own.
I like that idea.
So it'll be completely different.
I mean, I think that's smart. It'll avoid confusion in some ways, and whereas I think some fans may like to see returning characters. I think it's good to start anew sometimes, especially if you're creating your own universe. If that's what you want to make it expanding out, might as well just do your own thing, start from scratch, even if that character is great, that actor, I should say. My one exception is that I really hope, even though they were already connected, I'm really hoping Charlie Cox is truly in Spider-Man 3, even though we'll see. But
it's funny because he almost wasn't, but COVID kept pushing the production back so much that the rights came back to Marvel,
right?
For Daredevil. So initially he wasn't, but hey, it looks like your rights are back. Now let's go use them.
Which is exactly what Marvel's done. As soon as they get the go-ahead, they do it. Like the Scarlet Witch is the first thing we got since the X-Men were bought.
Yeah,
and it's because I'm not sure if they had claims to the rights of that name, the Scarlet Witch.
They have Madripoor and mentioned in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that's how Wolverine used to hang out. He spent many years over there. So.
Yeah.
And they couldn't Sword, they couldn't use Sword before because it belonged to Fox. And so you're starting to see that as well. But also regarding the theater thing, Kevin Feige does not want MCU films to be delegated to Disney Plus. I mean, his argument is that I'm already making shows for you guys. Why are you taking my movies and putting them there?
Yeah, and that seems to line up with what he said a few months ago. He's like, I see things as the films when talking about Marvel Studios, like films and then everything else. And I think that also leans into the fact that where the Disney Plus shows will, push the MCU forward, certainly. It does seem to be like the movies will more so, and more monumental things will happen in them. Just based off of WandaVision, it pushes her character forward a ton, and even a lot of stuff in the MCU. But it's not like a monumental thing happening. It was its own kind of small story, but it does for especially people that are so invested like us in a lot of ways with the introduction of Sword, Monica, her now being the Scarlet Witch, doing the whole astral projection, like. To us, that pushes it forward a lot, but you won't see.
Mommy, help me!
Yeah. But hey, Mackie, we know we got to run.
Thank you guys. Pleasure being on your show.
We really want to thank you. Your insight's been fantastic. Your commentary, we loved having you on. Anytime you want to return, let us know. You've been great.
You know what?
Check out Geekosity. Yeah.
Geekositymag.com. I just wanted to say you two guys are metal like Mephisto. I mean,
Thank you.
That's going on our LightsThunderAction poster that I'm now going to have to make.
These guys are more metal than
Mephisto.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I appreciate that, Mikey. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yes, just look up Mikey Sutton on Facebook. You can find me there at GeekOsityMag.com. We're updating every single day. And just, if you guys have any questions, you know where to find me.
Hey, Mikey, I'll let you know. I found this preparing for the show. I work for the direct.com, and we have this section called the Direct Fact, where we kind of like, it's kind of like these pages where we keep up with not just our reporting, but like everyone's reporting. And we have a Mikey Sutton page for Direct Fact, Geekosity, Mikey Sutton, with all like keeping up with what you're up to. So I just wanted to shout you out there too.
It's been the past 3 years has been insane.
No doubt. I mean, the Snyder Cut thing, huge.
That was huge, but the whole Spider-Man thing where they were saying that he was leaving, and I was the one who said, no, he's not leaving. And
my guy. All right.
But you guys are more metal than Mephisto. Should record an album like that. I think that would just be incredibly rocking. I'd buy it right away. But anyway, take care, guys. Thanks for letting me be on the show.
Yes, of course, brother. Thank you so much, and we'll have you back soon, man. Have a great night.
Take care, brothers. See you later.
Bye.
Oh, folks, man, that was Mikey Sutton. What a fracking guy, man. I didn't censor myself. I'm proud. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some bills to pay. We'll be right back. We're going to take an extended ad break. We're doing one ad break this show, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk all things Marvel, cinematic, and universe.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Don't go away.
Reels and Heels is a podcast that discusses movies, television, wrestling, and more. With a rotating guest list of friends and filmmakers alike, Reels and Heels salutes the creative arts of all kinds. Join Brian Winzeloff and Nicole Jobin live every Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Reels and Heels.
For a few weeks, you've been hearing me talk about Crit, right? Well, a lot of folks have been asking me, Thor, son of Dale, what is Crit? Crit is not just a story of a group of new-made superheroes learning to work together as a team. It's also a journey for discovery for each of those individual characters. Each issue provides the characters within to explore a little more of their strengths and weaknesses. The series follows the team as they face challenges, develop their powers, and grapple with choices that test whether or not they can truly call themselves superheroes. This is going to be for fans of Beverly Hills Cop, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bad Boys, The Expendables, My Hero Academia, Blank Man. Now, if you've never heard of Blank Man, ladies and gentlemen, oh, you're missing out. The Fast and the Furious, and of course, everyone's favorite, Deadpool. If you're a fan of buddy action flicks from the 90s and superheroes, you'll enjoy this book. A small-town coroner has to team up with her ex-fiancé to save her town from a swarm of mutant honeybees. There's action, drama, humor, maybe even a flamethrower or two. There's definitely a ton of bad bee puns and a very unlikely Hawaiian-wearing hero. This classic sci-fi feature cheese fest, written and directed by Alicia Marie and starring local talent from the Emerald Coast, invites you to join our journey from conception to reception by visiting Linktree.com/zombies the movie. That's ZOMBEEZTHEMOVIE to keep up with all the buzz and donate to GoFundMe. Wink! Golden Age Gone is the story of Wink. It centers around a Cyclops monster girl who is trying to survive in the middle of the monster apocalypse. The world she knows is full of monsters roaming about. Cthulhu has set up his kingdom in what was once California. Killer unicorns roam wild in what used to be the Midwest United States. Dragons have returned to most parts of the world. Giant kaiju, titans, and creatures from Lovecraftian era fight over territory. The portals to Arc places have been opened and spilled out onto the Earth, and those things are not even the worst things to have happen. Long ago, long gone was the time of heroes. All the supers are gone, and there is no one to protect the Earth. How did the world come to this? Golden Age Gone is the story of the beginning of the end and how the world Wink lives in came to be. Wink, Golden Age Gone, available on Kickstarter now. Nippon, a samurai story set in 16th century. Our main character Shinjin witnesses the capture of his own town while the shoguns take over the regions as they wish. From this moment on, the deep story begins, in which Shinjin and Japan will take shape. Nippon offers more than just a samurai story. It reflects the magnificent
Language.
Wow. It reflects the magnificent beauty of Japanese culture to the reader in a refreshing way. Also, political games, epic wars, family drama, love, and lots of adventures to be experienced are waiting for you. Nippon by Alper Gesell is available on Kickstarter now.
JBauerArt has the graphic design skills you need to develop your next logo and at an affordable price. But he's not just a one-trick pony. Follow JBauerArt on social media to interact during live paintings and see all of his previous artwork, which you can buy exclusively at JBauerArtShop.com. Not only is he an artist, this beautiful son of a blue brings you the Back Talk with Bauer podcast every week with unique guests. And every month he hosts a special Back Talk with Friends episode that can only be described as chaotic and hilarious. Need a video intro or commercial? JBauerArt has you covered. For all of this and more, follow JBauerArt on social media. That's JBauerArt. Check out JBauerArt.com for a full portfolio and JBauerArtShop.com to buy that special painting for you and your loved ones.
Alpha Dogs is Lost meets The Incredible Journey. The comic series features Buck, a pit bull born with the power of regeneration along with heightened intelligence and strength. Buck yearns to discover the origin of his superpowers, but the truth is more shocking than he could have ever imagined. Alpha Dogs will go live on Kickstarter March 19th. Written by John Dexter. Everybody loves a good Doge. And we're back. Thank you for joining us. David, are you ready to dive deep and well into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, I am. And obviously this is going to be acting as, in part, mostly the Falcon Winter Soldier preview. Episode 1, of course, is Thursday night if you are a West Coaster, and early Friday morning for us. I'm going to try to watch it, because it's episode 1, of course. I'm going to try to watch it before work, because if not, I would have had to watch it at like 4:30, and that's not going to go over well.
In the afternoon?
Correct.
You mean? Yeah, no, screw that. I'm going to watch it at 4:30 in the morning, because I'm going to wake up before I go work my 6 a.m. shift at work, and I'm going to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, because there's no way I'm waiting until later in the day.
Right. So let's do,
yeah.
I was going to say, run a little bit low on time. Let's kind of go through these questions on a bit of a clip.
I don't have a lot.
Questions, of course. Yeah, like everyone in the comments, you know the deal by now. We're previewing for the Disney Plus MCU show. Follow us along, answer the questions along with us. We're just chatting about it. So what do we think going into this? We've seen a lot of marketing about the kind of the dynamic between Sam and Bucky. Obviously, they are in the titular roles of the show, and it's in the past they haven't exactly been friends. I liked how in that one bit of that one clip where it's like, we're coworkers, they have that sort of relationship. I think there will be a bit of animosity for some reason at the beginning. And I think it'll be friendly almost in a way, but they won't be best of friends. Because I think with the two of them, there isn't that built-in like trust like both of them had with Cap, right?
Exactly.
And in this, they don't have that. They have the, I know you're good, and we're mutual, friend of a friend both ways. But I think the point of the show in a lot of ways will be as it goes along, we see them get closer, which I think could be a really, really cool piece of the puzzle to this show. And I'm looking forward to that. Thomas, any thoughts on this question?
Honestly, it's going to be very similar to Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think.
Yeah.
Like specifically from that movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, where they both like each other, but they also get on each other's nerves. And that's why they like each other. And it really reminds me of buddy cop films. I was just in one of those ads. We heard about a buddy cop vibes. That's what this movie's going to be. That's what this show is going to be. Yeah. And it makes entire sense that that's how they're going to go because of their chemistry and the back and forth they have and the messing with people.
Right.
The frack-withery of it all, if you will. So that's what it's going to be, and I just can't wait. I agree. I think it's going to be, before they're Sam and Bucky, but they're going to become. Well, I guess really they're the Falcon. No, they're Sam and Bucky. Like they're two different guys trying to do the thing. But at the end of this, they will become a unit of either Cap and the Winter Soldier or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just depends on how Sam wants to go with naming himself. Right? Yeah. But it's going to come down to, okay, we are all that's left to carry on this mantle. And I think that's where this show is going to really eventually point to. Yeah. Right?
I like that a lot.
I think that what's going to draw people into this show consistently is going to be that back and forth between Sam and Buck.
Yeah. And you got there's a clip that came out like at the end of last week that was really good. It makes me so excited.
The big three.
Yeah.
Aliens, androids, and wizards. He's not a wizard. He's a sorcerer. It's a wizard,
Anthony
bro.
Mackie is so damn charismatic, man. I cannot wait for him. I'm going to keep saying that on this show because just in that little clip, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's just a rock star. Moving on. Is this a proper Captain America sequel? My answer is kind of short and sweet. No, but it is a spirit successor. Like it is a sequel in the way that Cap obviously isn't directly involved, we don't think, but it's continuing everything that those films has built. Even going back, obviously, with Bucky to his first movie, especially, I'm going to try to rewatch The Winter Soldier, maybe even tonight, because I haven't seen it in a while. I think that'll be a really good setup for this.
Yeah.
Civil War would be, but we rewatched that, not too long ago. We're doing a trilogy of trilogies, and obviously that's the connection with Zemo and even furthering the plot.
Yeah.
I think this show, I love the fact that it's so deeply, tied to Captain America and all of those movies and even more with the Avengers films. So do I think it's a proper sequel? No, I think this might lead to one. I love the idea of there being a Captain America 4, but it's Sam, holding the mantle in some way. And maybe Winter Soldier's still there, Bucky. But I love the idea of doing a theatrical movie with Sam Wilson, which, it's another black superhero. And that would just, add to that, like putting them in the spotlight. I think that would be really great. Thomas, specifically, do you think this is a proper Captain America sequel? I worded it kind of funny.
You did. No, because of the word
purpose.
Proper.
Yes.
You son of a bitch. No, I don't think it's a proper Captain America sequel, but it's going to continue that story. For sure, that we've gotten from Captain America 1, 2, 3, Infinity War, etc., Ultron, etc. So
Ultron, especially with Falcon. Yeah.
I've just been working on our missing persons case. Yeah, they were talking about Buck. So, it's brilliant how it's all gonna go. Yeah, I know. I just heard myself too, buddy. It is very exciting how they're doing this. And at the beginning when this was all announced, you and I were kind of on the same page. Like, I can't wait to see Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's gonna be the one that tells us it was supposed to be the first glimpse at the world after Endgame. So So it was like, oh my God. And then it's like, well, WandaVision is our first true glimpse after Endgame. And then it turns out that it's literally the first true glimpse because part of it takes place during the end of Endgame with Blip. Right. And then it's like, oh, it's 3 weeks later. And you're like, the Spider-Man of it all says what? So it's going to be very interesting, especially because, we're going to talk about it here right now. It's set 6 months after Endgame?
Yeah, it's about 6 months after Endgame, this series, which is unique in the fact that originally they were going to have WandaVision come out after, and that goes to show how these stories are going to be all over the place.
Non-linear storytelling is in place now.
And right now, it kind of is going to feel a bit like it because, we had WandaVision, which was like 3 months to a month after, 3 weeks to a month after. And now this is going to be like 6 months, which I love that because it's like a world that's trying to move on. That's kind of its footing back, right? The people that have come back, they're doing their thing. That could lead to some other, like, I wonder what happened to Zemo. I want answers. And I hope, speaking of which, when you said we got the blip from WandaVision's perspective, from Monica's, I hope we get a similar scene in this show or something like that.
With both of them because they were next to each other.
Yeah.
Weren't they? No, they weren't. No,
they weren't next to each other. They were, because Bucky was first, and I remember like, what is happening? And then Sam was like kind of
later on.
He'd been kind of like
beaten down.
Yeah, beaten down. I was gonna try to say what's the word where you like no longer airborne.
Grounded.
Thank you. My gosh. Let's move on because this kind of all these lead together.
They do.
Where will Sam and Bucky be by the end of the season? We kind of already answered this. So me personally, I'm hoping that it is Sam taking, finally, like he's
give me the costume.
Yeah, give me the costume. Exactly. Like he's finally kind of gotten with the fact that he can be Captain America. Because there was a quote. I wrote a story about it actually. That's why I'm familiar in my head. Mackie was saying how it was a burden that Captain America gave him that shield, right? He almost didn't view it like the character as like, part of the quote was maybe he wasn't looking for a job promotion, right? Like maybe he didn't ask for this. And I think part of this story can now be him figuring out that he is the person that is most well suited to be this Captain America.
Yes.
And part of that is going to be this whole US agent crap where it's like propaganda and the government trying to give someone this like savior and this person to look up to 6 months later, which like helps, obviously. And then there's going to be, Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, who realized, no, I need to be him. Like it's my shoes to fill. And I'm really hoping by the end, almost similar to, was it Daredevil season 1, where like in the final episode, we get the proper suit. That would be a glorious moment in this show. If like season 6 episode 6 or episode 5, we get Sam
suit up.
And it's a proper red, white, and blue. That would be beautiful to me. So Tom, where do you
think about it really quick?
Yeah,
we just got the Scarlet Witch.
Exactly, which is the exact same deal. So this is kind of, I think maybe this is a trend, right?
And see, that's the thing. Like, let's think about all the stuff they set up in Spider-Man Far From Home, and they said you're going to want to utilize this movie when you're looking at what's coming in the future. I believe is what it was said. He made his own suit at the end. Wanda made her own suit, technically, magically, at the end. How does Falcon get a Captain America suit is my question. Does he go to Peter Parker, which he can't because this is set before he got his suit. So Stark Enterprises can't help in that it's Peter Parker. So that's like a very interesting little nuance is, okay, if we do get the suit, how, I'm sure they're never going to tell us, but like who makes the damn suit? I want to know. Is there a no capes clause? Do we have Edna?
Sharon? I don't know.
But I think Sam's Captain America at the end of this. Cool. I think Bucky is, I don't know if he'll still go by the Winter Soldier. He probably will because it's a code name he'll never get away from. But if he could go by Agent Barnes at the end of this, I think he would be very happy.
That'd be cool. I wonder if he goes by the Winter Soldier even like throughout the show. Even though that's like the name of it, it seems like that name to him is kind of like right on his ledger, right? That just reminds him of all the bad. Like that, he's not trying to be the Winter Soldier anymore. He's trying to be.
And what's interesting is, here's what I think will really happen. Bucky is on that journey.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the Winter Soldier, but I was, and I had to accept it. And Falcon is now being given the shield. And so it's like, well, now I guess I'm Captain America, but I don't want to. I didn't ask to be Captain America. And he has to learn to accept that and take it on. And so this show is going to be about so the last one was about acceptance of grief, right? You got to accept your grief in WandaVision. Spider-Man Far From Home was, admitting your mistake and going and fixing your mistakes.
Yeah.
In this, it's about accepting all the things you can't control and control what you can.
I like that. Speaking of someone, I mean, that part of it is that Sam Wilson, he doesn't have superpowers. And you know who else doesn't have superpowers? Zemo. And it seems like his role, like answering the question I laid out to everyone listening, what is Zemo's role, in this show? Obviously, we know he's coming back. He's going to be hooded.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Terry McIver, the White Wolf, with another code name. Okay. Cool. Zemo is hooded. Yes, we're getting proper Zemo now,
which is awesome. And I don't know where he lays in this, because it seems like there's going to be a government U.S. agent side of kind of an antagonist. There's the Flag Smashers, which I think Zemo could be connected to, because that would make the most sense. They're, having the masks on, that's part of their spiel.
Yes.
But what we've seen from marketing simply is that Zemo is trying to rid the world of superheroes. It thinks that the world doesn't need superheroes. That's been his goal. And then he was just going to take his life because he thought he won, and I'm sure
he did.
He did. And I wonder what happened to him during the blip and the snap, because I think that might motivate him.
Are you ready for something that I pulled out of an interview that I'm really pissed I pulled out?
Yes.
Somebody once said, he comes back and all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, Zemo comes back? So are you saying Zemo blipped away?
Right.
And I'm pretty certain in the article that I read, they asked for confirmation and they just said, nope. I won't tell you anything.
I hope he did, because it makes sense why he would be free then.
Exactly, and not just that, but like, if they all blipped away and he didn't, and he sat there and was like, "Good, the Avengers got what they deserved. This planet, blah 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 blah." Like, he might genuinely be like, "Yeah, Thanos was right." That maybe that's why he wears the mask, the purple mask, to pay homage to Thanos. Oh no, we're going down the rabbit hole. Let's not do this.
I saw someone theorize that it does look similar. And you could point that to the comics, but in the MCU, maybe that could be a reason.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. And it is interesting that in the comics, they do have very similar striations on the mask.
Right.
Even in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where Zemo is a very important character.
I'll be honest though, I'm amped to see Zemo back. Daniel Bruhl in this character, I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
I hope we get Zemo with his sword. That is all.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt.
So U.S. agent. This has been, I am intrigued by the U.S. agent, and I'll tell you why. Because the marketing has been so minimal for this character. We have seen that same exact shot of him being introduced on a football field, him giving the high five to like the drum major, and that's it, right? I mean, and it seems like he's gonna have
a little bit of a fight scene on top of a moving truck. We have seen it touches.
Okay, yeah. I don't even remember that, but sure. I would hope there'd be something else, because there's been such minimal marketing with him. I feel like that's because he's gonna play a bigger role than maybe they want fans to expect. And then, and the way they're doing it, it seems like it's gonna be more of the Flag Smashers and Zemo being the big bad, where I feel like this U.S. agent thing is just going to be up to no good. You think General Ross appears in this? Because I think he will.
Yes.
He will, and this will be like this. That's the connection. And he'll be, U.S. agent's going to be Mr. Because think about this. Here's my one thought on U.S. agent, where I think they're going to play at. Captain America was against the Accords. None of them signed it. U.S. agent is going to be the Captain America now. That's like, the Accords are great. Sign up for them. They help us. They keep us protected. They make something like Thanos never happen again, and it's all going to fall apart.
Star-Spangled Man with a plan. Yeah.
So, what do you think about the U.S. agent?
I think everything you said, pretty much. I'm not even gonna lie. I question I am always hopeful that, like someone won't turn out to be a dick. But if they gave this guy super soldier serum and they got it, like we've learned from Captain America, the First Avenger, which explains so much about the Incredible Hulk, a little bit of what's already inside of you is projected outward. So if you're a good person, good becomes great. If you're a bad person, bad becomes worse. Abomination, Hulk, all a part of trying to be a super soldier. So what kind of side effects are we going to get with a U.S. agent? And on top of that, the frack is his deal? Seriously, like what even is his deal? Like I'm very curious. He very much does seem like a pawn, which worries me because is he a pawn? I feel like there's 3 sides to this entire show: government, Zemo, Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and it's going to. And I'm trying to figure out which sides team up to take on the other side.
So leading into this, what side do you think the Flag Smashers is a part of in those 3 groups?
Are you ready?
Right?
Possibly. I think they could very easily be a part of a governmental system trying to earn the trust of all these frightened citizens who 6 months ago, half of them on this planet randomly reappeared.
Yeah. After 5 years of all being gone.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just think about like an infant blipping away and then blipping back randomly. And it's like, where's my child?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Where's my mom?
Yeah.
So could the Flag Smashers be an inside job? Is my question. That's the only thing I'm looking for with Flag Smashers.
That'd be a good twist.
Are they actually being paid by the government to create press for the U.S. agent? Or are they genuinely working for Zemo? Or, here's a random aside, are there 4 sides to this entire story? And the Flag Smashers have their own agenda, opposite of Zemo, opposite of Falcon Winter Soldier, opposite of the government.
Yeah.
David, who do you think the Flag Smashers are?
I think they are just kind of this small organized group that's anti-heroes and I think they see my dynamic. I'm curious where Zemo fits in more, because in my mind it's Flag Smashers, US agent / government, and Falcon Winter Soldier, and it's the Flag Smashers are against them both. We're like, they don't like the government, they don't like this US agent crap, they also don't like Falcon Winter Soldier. They're just against it all, right? They're just over it, right? I'm not super familiar with the Flag Smashers in the comics, but thinking of the Flag Smashers, like maybe, anti-government, anti-America, things like that. And it seems like from the trailers and the marketing that obviously they'll be antagonists with Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I could see where, like you were saying, I could see where they could maybe side with Falcon and Winter Soldier before they sided with someone like the government. Zemo could be just a wild card. And I would love the idea of that. Him just being this wild card who's doing his own thing, similar to Civil War. He's not leading the Flag Smashers. He's aware of them, but he's doing his own thing.
What if he's actually secretly manipulating the Flag Smashers let's say he pulls a Zemo, manipulates an entire thing in the entire show, and then everyone at the end is like, it was you the whole time. It was Zemo all along. Like if they just pull one of those kind of things, and then you realize, oh look, he literally did it to us again. He fooled everyone, and he won again because he's a master tactician, and that leads to a very important question that we're going to go back to Zemo's role really quick. Is this setting up the Masters of Evil? Because Zemo is very important to the Masters of Evil. And I think if there's going to be anything that's going to be maybe not an Avengers film, but the Masters of Evil is an Avengers level threat, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we get the Masters of Evil, and then that forces a team up. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just saying. But let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued by this question. I'd like for you to go first here. Where will it rank against WandaVision, and what is your reasoning?
Yeah, I mean, and where will it rank? Everything's subjective. This is more of a question of where do you think you'll like it more or less? Like, where do you think it's going to land on a personal list? I think, if we're asked, it could be 2 parts. The popularity-wise, I don't think it'll reach WandaVision levels because I don't think it'll have that complete zeitgeist control for two reasons. Because there won't be as many fan theories and just speculation about WandaVision and like mysterious unknown. This is going to feel, I think, more of what would be a standard show in a way, but I think there will still be, obviously, I think it's going to be a great mystery show in its own right, because it's like a buddy cop, like thriller sort of deal. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it will have that. I don't think it's just going to like take over like WandaVision felt like it did. I hope it does, because personally, I expect it to rank higher for me than WandaVision. Like on my own personal list, I have WandaVision like 15th for the MCU properties, and I really enjoyed WandaVision. You know it, because we've talked about this for the last 9 weeks, how much I enjoyed WandaVision pretty much every week. But it, like, to me, on my personal list, it was like Doctor Strange was 14th. And personally, I thought it was just barely below it. And that's just me. So anyone who's listened to this show knows this is the show, Falcon and Winter Soldier, that I've been looking forward to the most when they first announced those Disney Plus properties. Like the shows coming for Disney Plus from the MCU. This was the one that I circled, was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this. I think because of the ties to Captain America, I love these characters. The action to me is going to be fantastic. I'm a big fan of it being a shorter 6 episodes.
Yes.
Because I mean, part of WandaVision was like, it was 9 episodes. They weren't very long. We're gonna get longer episodes this way. It's more up my alley, and I think they really are set up for me to like it more. Which is not a knock against WandaVision in any way. I just think my personal preference will surely be this show. If they do a good job with it, who knows? Maybe it'll be boring. Maybe they won't do things that I hope they do with it. But
unlikely.
Quite unlikely. I'm very much so looking forward to it. And I do expect it, to answer the question, I expect it to rank higher for me personally than WandaVision. What about you?
All right, so right off the bat, the reason I had you answer this question is because I didn't really, I didn't understand the question.
You're not a ranker in the first place.
Exactly. That's why I was like, you son of a bitch. You boxed me up. Like, I'm terrible at ranking. Every movie has defeated the Lion King only to be re-defeated by the Lion. It's like Avengers or Avatar. Who's going to win? Always going to be the Lion King. Suck it, guys. But for me, WandaVision is a beautiful commentary on mental health. And much like the show of WandaVision, it's a commentary. Its commentary, if you will, is very meta. It's very layered, and it's just underneath so many little nuances and puns. You didn't know about the practical effects that they did in the first couple episodes, but I spotted it right away when they were doing it. I was like, oh, those are real. Oh, those are probably on strings and wires. And they're utilizing lighting and camera angles to block those lines out like they used to in the 50s. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I'm so excited about this. This is amazing. But let's think about it like this, for WandaVision specifically, how many of us grieved and or coped with television or movies just this past year?
Yeah.
It's been my coping mechanism and method for years, and Wanda's powers allowed her to live that sitcom. Right. Whether Falcon and Winter Soldier can achieve this same commentary, that really remains to be seen. Now, granted, if I'm a betting man, and I'm not, but if I were, I'd put all my money on Falcon and Winter Soldier succeeding on whatever it is they want to succeed at. It's Marvel. I've learned not to bet against them. Yeah. And also, I never really bet against them anyway, because I enjoy pretty much all their movies. Like I said, I still enjoy Green Lantern. So shoot me. But when it comes to comparatively, which one I like more, to me, they're just WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. They're apples and tomatoes. They're so vastly different.
Yeah.
It's the exact reason why I can't rank MCU. Show. Exactly. Like, it's a show, and I still can't even rank the movies. Like, I can rank Thor movies. Easy. It's Ragnarok and then the other two. Right? I can't rank
kind of a ranking.
I can't rank Avengers movies though, because it's like, well, do I pick Infinity War or Endgame for number 1? And then where does Ultron actually fit now? And then Avengers is always a banger, even though that Joss Whedon's history is tainted the way I watch that movie now.
Right.
But still, I still can't pick my favorite Marvel movie, so don't make me try and rank shit.
Well,
bro. This isn't
I
the direct.
apologize.
I don't have to rank stuff.
I apologize.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro.
Great answer. I mean, we'll see, right? And it's all subjective. Like, you don't have to rank things. It can just be, oh, I like that as well. And that's how I view things typically. Like, I like things or I don't. Normally, I like whatever the MCU puts out, but I love to rank things just because I think it puts things. That's how my mind works. I love to see it on a list. Like, oh yeah, that's right. And then maybe look at it and be like, did I like that more? Rewatching things, it's like interesting to ponder on and see how my brain almost changes over time. And like Ultron, like a movie like that where it grows over time. Speaking of other MCU properties, what is this going to connect to? Much like WandaVision, obviously, these shows are connected within the MCU. And in WandaVision, obviously, it was connected to a lot of things in the past, but this is more a question about the future. Like, what future products, I should be more specific. Because obviously we know it's going to connect to in the past, Captain America, Avengers.
Yeah.
WandaVision connected very intrinsically to Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, the sequels, Multiverse of Madness and Captain Marvel 2. The setup of Monica and the setup of the Scarlet Witch in Doctor Strange. Those are two things that we know for a fact, 100% they are connected. There is a bridge that you need to watch these in between those two sequels. You should, at least. It adds something to it, which is brilliant, right? Especially the Captain Marvel part, which I think some of us, I didn't expect as much as it would be, because Monica got her powers in this. It wasn't just Monica was introduced. She got her powers. It was her origin story, which is super neat to be in a whole different show. This one, so the showrunner of this show, Spellman, I forget his first name. He just recently said he couldn't say what, and you could tell almost he didn't even mean to say it at all, but he said there's 3 things this connects to. He said at least 3. So we know there's 3. And, it could be loose, maybe not as direct as maybe not as direct as WandaVision, but I do have a couple things in mind that this could connect to. One being a sequel of sorts. Point blank, easy answer, it being a Captain America 4 or a Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2. The other 2, let's think about that. I'm thinking it could be Spider-Man, which would be really awesome to me, especially if it is something to do with I don't know. I know there's been a little back and forth with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and there's so many people already in that show. It doesn't have to be actually a character-driven thing. It could just set it up in a world-building way, in a really big way, because this does happen 6 months in the future. It's hard to say off the top of my head, like, what this will exactly connect to, but if I had a guess, my first one would be Spider-Man, just because I think the government could be a part of that movie. Yeah, time proximity, exactly. And then another one, it could be Hawkeye. Because Hawkeye, another grounded show. We don't know the plot of Hawkeye at all yet, besides the fact that Kate Bishop's there. And we don't know when it happens.
And it feels like we're on the run. The
run, they're in the cars doing chase scenes. There's something to it, right? And it's like that show could be similar in style and feel to this in a way. Grounded, right? It's superheroes, even though Bucky is. But you know what I mean? Where it's not Spider-Man, it's not Iron Man. They're more grounded. I think so. If I had predictions, it would exactly my 3 predictions would be a Captain America 4 / season 2 of this show. That's an easy one. Spider-Man 3, because of proximity, as you pointed out, and also the governmental parts of it that I think could play into the Spider-Man film more than maybe we're thinking, with his identification and all this stuff, and what the Accords mean too. Because
the Accords of it all,
they could retcon some fun shit from like the first Civil War comics and how he had to reveal his identity to do with the
Spider-Man.
They could do some cool connections with that. And then third would be Hawkeye later this year, coming out pretty soon. We don't know when that takes place. It could be parallel. We don't know when it takes place at all. And I think same with that. It'll feel similar when it comes to style. And I would love to think there's some sort of overlay with the action and maybe like the fallout from Falcon Winter Soldier has to do with Hawkeye in some way. Maybe there's some sort of ripple effect. And I could be completely wrong. As we've talked about on here, as we point out, there are so many choices with the MCU coming out because there's so much Disney Plus, and movies you have to come out for the MCU that are in the process. So what are your thoughts, Thomas? I'm sure they'll be completely different than mine.
Not that far off, actually.
Okay.
I do like the Spider-Man of it all because, again, it's 6 months, not just Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Far From Home. It's 3 months away from that. So we might get a little bit of a rumblings, if you will, from some sword agents. We might get some rumblings, if you will, about geological disturbances across the world, aka Mysterio enacting his plan.
Shoot, I just thought of one.
Wait.
Sorry.
You're good, because I'm wondering if I'm going to say it. I do love Hawkeye pull. I really love the Hawkeye pull, because I was thinking this is going to end up tying into Black Widow in a way that we aren't expecting. And I don't know why I'm still here, but like the Thunderbolts of it all is like the question of the Accords and like what if the Flag Smashers are just the Thunder? Anyways, that's a whole rabbit hole. I think that it'll tie into Spider-Man again, especially the governmental side of things, and it'll give us fallout of the Accords. I think more than any other place we have. Because both of them chose not to sign the Accords and both got arrested and then both got freed. Right. So it's like very interesting. And I'm thinking the Hawkeye show is, well, now that all these people came back and then they saw he didn't actually stay retired when his family died, he became Ronin and then became Hawkeye again and then saved the world. Hawkeye is going to be on the run due to the Accords kind of vibes. That's the vibe I get. Now, let me just throw a weird quick wrinkle in. What if it's all setting up for Secret Invasion?
That was it. That was mine. It's the scrolls.
Come on in, bro.
Every single, the two. Oh no! Did it happen?
It happened. The scroll of it all is really, what David was saying, and that's so true. Like I said, maybe we get some sword agents meandering around, and the first thing I thought of was the big guy upstairs wants to talk to you. And then it's a scroll, but David, what were you going to say about the scroll of it all?
So, it's like, all right, since Endgame, Far From Home and WandaVision, the two properties after Endgame, they both featured scrolls in a small way, but I mean, Far From Home a lot. And to think, Far From Home, 8 months after Endgame, this 6 months, whatever, like the scrolls are here. They've invaded, right? In some form or fashion. They're around. And I think that this could also, and for the showrunner, it would be an easy thing for him to think in his head, like, oh, we had that scroll scene that clearly sets up Secret Invasion. Like off the top of his head, he'd have like three things. Boom, boom, boom. I like that a lot. That's mine. The Secret Invasion seems like his choice, and it'd be easy because all you have to do is one scroll scene, and it sets it up in some way.
Yes, exactly. A single solitary scene is all you need to create a universe.
This is the MCU, ladies and gentlemen.
It is the MCU. David, what do you have any actual predictions for episode 1? Any hard pressed predictions?
I think we get introduced to everyone. And I think it's not as slow as a start as WandaVision. I think maybe, it could be very small introductions, but I don't know if after this, I think we might get introduced to reintroduced Zemo, Sharon, U.S. Agent, and Flag Smashers all in this episode. It's reportedly 47 minutes long, so buckle up, can't wait. And it seems like so one note I saw on Twitter, it was like a little review of it, was like there might be like a surprise, like someone surprising pops up, which is like, all right, let's get it rolling. We're back into the
is it just Thunderbolt Ross?
I would. Hey, I mean
that's the easy money, man. That's what I would bet on. Because again, think about the last time we saw Ross in Infinity War.
Yeah,
did he get dusted?
Right. I think it could be Chris Evans. Because the
old man Steve being dead, yes,
maybe, or some weird I think we'll see images of him, maybe not actually him, but maybe like paintings or murals, stuff like that. My hard prediction on this is this episode is about it's a good bit of it is the Captain America memorial service / funeral, because it's about moving on. This is the starting point where we've seen those scenes, and it's kind of like, they seem to be around. It seems like there's a memorial service that will happen for Captain America in some respect. How far it goes, and what if we died on this day.
Yeah, is he dead, or is it they're saying he's dead because he went to a different universe?
Yeah, is it covering up? And I think, in a way, Sam and Bucky could almost be like, this is distasteful, but who knows? It could be a government thing.
Exactly.
So I think that'll be definitely a part of it. So my two predictions, I think my second one is actually, I don't know. I think there's a good chance it doesn't happen. I think the funeral does happen, but I do think my prediction would be that everyone's introduced in this. We get set up for all these characters, just a little bit. Obviously, we get Bucky and Sam, but I think Sharon we get an appearance from. I think Zemo we get an appearance from. I think U.S. Agent we get an appearance from, and I think the Flag Smashers. This is 6 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. They got to get rolling. That might not happen. Obviously, 6 episodes is still a lot of storytelling. There's a longer episodes. I could see where they could take it a little slower, but I do believe we will get an introduction to all of those characters. And who knows when Don Cheadle will show up, because we know he's coming.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Who knows who else?
For real. So, David, wrapping this all, I don't have any predictions, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. I really don't. For once, I've got nothing. I'm just just give me what you're going to give me, Marvel, because at this point, I'm not guessing about Mephisto anymore.
The thing is, I agree. And the thing is, too, going into the first one, we have nothing to base this off of. Marketing, which you never know what you're looking at in marketing campaigns.
Here's what I know. If we're not talking about the big 3 every week, aliens, androids, and wizards, then I don't know what the effing point of this entire podcast is.
We seem to do a pretty good job doing that.
We do. We're always talking aliens. Aliens. But David, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find me at David Thompson on Facebook, David J. Thompson on TikTok and Instagram, and David Thompson with 2 A's in the David on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, guys. That's where I'm most active. That's where I like to be the most. That's where I tweet and share my thoughts the most. That's where I'm most interactive. So follow me on Twitter, David Thompson with 2 A's in the David. Thomas, what about you?
You can find all of my links at Linktree.com/TCRochesterACT. That is Linktree.com/TCRochesterACT. You'll be able to find my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our shop, everything else, this entire podcast, our Linktree to the podcast, zombies, etc. All the stuff I'm involved with. You can find those links at my Linktree. David, do you have anything to promote this week?
Hey guys. Oh, actually I do. I was on the latest episode of the Direct Podcast. Go check that out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you find podcasts. It should be episode, I think it's 24 of the Direct Podcast. I was on there. We debated who is the best Chris in the MCU. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt. I was joined by Liam, Matt, who are the co-hosts, and then Jack Puce, also a writer from the Direct. So yeah, go check it out. Direct.com as well. Check out my articles. I just wrote one up. There are some Star Wars Legends content coming to Disney Plus next month, Thomas. It's Ewok filled. And also it's Ewoks. It's some Ewok stuff. And then there's also, do you remember back in the day, there's that Cartoon Network Clone Wars series that's 2D?
Yeah.
The Legends one. It's coming to Disney Plus April 2nd. So that'll be on there too. Anyway, go check that out on thedirect.com. Everything on thedirect.com. We're keeping up with all the latest news. So check it all out. We have some exclusive quotes from, the director of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Go check that out because we got an interview with her. So very exciting stuff. Go check out thedirect.com. Follow us on Twitter and all those good things. Thomas, what about you?
Wait, you're telling me that we're gonna get the Clone Wars 2003 anime?
It's on Disney Plus April 2nd.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down. No.
Thomas
Awesome.
is excited.
I forgot what I was gonna promote because you got me and you shook me down and you got me again. You can this has been episode 49 of Lights Thunder Action. You know, we've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason we'll say hello again.
Thank you to Mikey Sutton.
Thank you to Mikey Sutton. Thank you for joining us. This is the shortest show in like 4 weeks. Good job, us.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Stay safe, stay home, stay words. Go to the movies, whatever.
Bye, everyone.